On Friday, we had Rich Vos in studio, comedian Rich Vos, and
Yes.
I got a text from Hardy over the weekend that Hardy had played golf with Rich Vos
Oh.
over the on Saturday. First of all, congratulations finding a course that was open.
Well, yeah, my neighbor's course was open with temporary greens, and we had already planned to play on Saturday. My neighbor was going to take me over there, and I told Voss that I was playing. He's like, temporary greens, I won't do that. I said, well, he's got like all day to kill. I think he had 2 shows Friday night, 2 shows Saturday night, not starting till 7, and he's got all day to kill. I said, if you want to go to Top Golf, Top Golf. I'm like, okay, I love Top Golf, but whatever. So we texted back and forth a little bit. Finally, he acquiesced and said, yeah, I'd like to play if I can play with you guys. And my neighbor was kind enough to host us both on Saturday at his club. It got a little, just a tiny bit awkward, as my neighbor is a Indian fellow, an Asian Indian.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me ahead of time, he's like, I don't know too much about Voss. Is he like racist? And I said, oh, yes, very. So, just know that going in. Now, my neighbor has a very good sense of humor. He's generally the first one to, crack a race joke.
Mm-hmm.
But Voss started in as he walked up to like the pro shop area behind the clubhouse on his host, my friend, and didn't let up for 2 hours. It was nonstop. Both racial and religious jokes.
Mm-hmm.
They were kind of went like hand in hand. It's just, it was nonstop.
So did you know Voss before this weekend, or was it just conversation?
I probably met him in Vegas a long time ago, but I don't remember a lot about. There's a lot of comedians coming through. I'm sure I met him once, but no, I didn't know him at all.
I just think it's funny that you offered him like these. You don't know the guy. You offered him these couple opportunities to like actually kill time, and he was like, no. I just think it's funny. Like,
well, the funny thing is, so I didn't know how he was getting around, and it turns out he drove up from Jersey for the show, so he had his own car. He had clubs in the car, but the clubs he had, it was like. Have you seen Sunday bags? Like the bag that, the dad will take out with his young kids with like 3 clubs in it?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he had with 2 Nike Sasquatch hybrids. You remember the square club head things that Nike made for about 20 minutes?
I do.
And they were so awful. Nobody liked them. Nobody could hit them. They were just garbage golf clubs. He had 2 of those in his bag. And I don't know, like 4 or 5 other clubs. I'm like, you're driving around in your car. You wanted to play golf somewhere. Why didn't you bring like actual golf clubs?
How can a guy like that be a golf snob? That's what's puzzling to me. Oh, we're not going to temporary greens. A guy like that,
and then have those clubs.
Exactly.
But
if you're going to be a golf snob, at least have a full set of clubs with you.
But I think I do have the reason why, Fred. Why he didn't have the full set. There was no room in his trunk. Do you know why?
Why?
2 massive survival kits in his
Jesus
trunk.
Christ.
I'm talking like zombie apocalypse survival kits. Because we all walked out of the parking lot together, and my neighbor was like, what the hell is that? What are you carrying around? He's like, that's my survival gear. And he had a shovel in there, too. Not a small, like just digging up the garden, like a shovel on top of these 2, like, securely wrapped black canvas, very like military looking survival bags in the trunk of his car. Like, oh, you lunatic. You absolute freaking freak.
So, and he's married to a famous, successful woman, Rich Vos. That's very interesting. So, where does Laugh Boston put one up?
He was probably at the Seaport. What's the hotel down there? Is it called the Seaport Hotel?
I
don't know. That's where he was staying. That's where he was staying.
I just remember when Adolfo hung out with Andrew WK, and he was staying at that Best Western by the old station in Brighton. The place where the 9/11 guys stayed.
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And you're like, Andrew WK had like a hit album.
Yeah.
And here he is at the Best Western in Brighton.
Yikes.
All right. Well, now you can play a course and like is the grass. You can hit off the grass and everything. It's all right.
Yeah, turf was in decent shape. No, I mean the greens were closed, so they just kind of like mow down an area in front of each green, and put a cup in so you can fire at a flag. But once you get it close to the hole, you just either chip or Voss was putting, and even though it was like putting on the fairway. But,
Is he any good?
oh yeah, he can play a little bit. Sure. Hey, keeps the ball in play. I think even on like a real course that day with the greens, the way he was hitting the ball, he probably wouldn't have made a double. He probably would have been like mostly bogeys and a couple of pars.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's not a young man.
No, man, but he keeps the ball in play, hits it solid. Yeah, he was fun to play with.
All right. Except for when
Except
the
for the
guy was
racist
nice
jokes.
enough to let you play with him.
Except for the
Is,
racist jokes in the survival gear. It was fine.
Well, no, the survival gear is neither here nor there. I think that the two go hand in
The
hand.
curry jokes, the smell jokes, the Muslim jokes. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot going on.
I think survival gear and that kind of stuff go hand in hand. I think the chances are if you're carrying around survival gear.
I don't want only white guys in my bunk.
Yeah, there's a good chance
But like
that
a
there's some-
full-size, brand new shovel, like packed on top of it. It's like
like a shovel for dirt?
yes,
Not a snow shovel.
No,
a
like
shovel
what
for dirt.
Yes, like what are you digging? He's like, you got to dig. Like, do you? Do you have to dig? What?
That sounds like a road comic that was in his car like for so long and has been through every. I mean, because Voss had like a crack problem and everything.
Okay.
Like that sounds like a guy who's been through it. Like like if you had like a guy who's been on the road, had his car broken down, has been in like bad neighborhoods trying to buy crack. Like that sounds like. Have you ever seen a picture of Voss from when he was a kid?
No.
Not a kid, but like a young comic.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got no teeth.
Oh.
Like he's got a curl. He looks. He has AC green hair. Ironically, AC green hair.
What are the odds of that?
Yeah, exactly. I
My
mean, he had like a
goodness.
Jerry curl situation, which is very. Maybe that's where this all stems from.
So there's some damage he's overcoming, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's his act. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
Voss. I mean, I'm not saying anything he hasn't told 5 million times on the air. I mean, on Opie and Anthony or something. I mean, he's a. Yeah, he was a big time crack. I mean, I've talked about it on different shows. Yeah, he's a big crackhead, and I had all these problems. He's been sober forever. I guess he's what he says. I don't know. Hardy's, and he's like, I don't know. He just was shooting heroin on the course or something.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen.
Okay, very good.
That didn't happen. No, I think you're right. I think I think he got sober like in the late '80s.
Yeah, I think. He had a real rough go of it. Like he was doing a lot. You can research it yourself. Yeah. He had to do some things that he probably wouldn't want to do again.